Greetings, YouTube, and welcome to the Dragoon's Den. As you can see here, I've got for you guys a deck profile, and it's going to be on what I ran at this weekend's Pegasus challenge and got third place with, and it's Chaos Lightsworn Dragon. The challenge was you had to run 100 cards in your main deck and up to 30 in the extra deck, and you could use banned cards since it was limited format. Plus, you got 2 draws each turn, but Shardagree did not get an extra counter. None of that loophole nonsense. As for how it performed, like any deck that has consistency issues, you know, this, Lightsworn, Dark World, when you are up against a complete and total scrub, you'll draw like the best possible hand, like Future Fusion, Painful Choice, Delinquent Duo. You'll draw like those nut hands, but when you're up against a good player, you'll either draw poorly or they'll draw better than you. And that was more than anything else when I was up against Mega Monkey's Plant deck in the top 4. I had some good ban cards, he had better. I did win one game because of Future Fusion, but yeah, his deck was just completely able to outpace this. And I think Chaos Dragons in general just don't have a good Plant Synchro matchup if Plant Synchro had like all of their stuff. So a little bit of insight into the future if we ever get whatchamacallem back. Ball, yeah. But regardless, the deck did okay. I had some goals I wanted to do with this deck, and I did meet most of them. I was also the only person in the tournament to actually get Metamorphosis into Thousand Eyes Restrict off. But then I lost because my opponent flipped up MST to my attack declaration. But still, I got this guy out, and nobody else did it in tournament. After the tournament, I had some more games, and I was on the receiving end of my Metamorphosis, but still, that happened, and it was glorious. As you can see, I only ran 2 banned traps, Crush Card Crisis, and Ring of Destruction. In hindsight, I probably should have run Trap Dust Shoot, Imperial Order, and I forget what else. Like, I don't really have a lot of the mega banned traps. These are like the 2 notable ones, and hey, first, Secret Rare, Ring of Destruction, although it's not first ED, and then a Turbo Pack, Crush Card Virus, which I probably would have pulled back during Teledad or whenever this was released, because I was awesome with pack pulls. But yeah, I'll go over the deck list and just explain some of my more far out choices and some of the shit that just happened. Like, I went up against Crystal Beast Dark World deck, thrashed that good. I got out Goyo Guardian, took his Grapha, and next game I made a Trishula, got rid of his Grapha, then summoned Chaos Emperor Dragon, and yeah, it just completely went nuts. Because this guy is nuts in a 100 card Chaos Dragon deck when it's traditional format, because you can search out JD, you can search out Red Med, Dark Armed, you can search out Envoy Dragon, and then for my own personal touch, I put in the motherfucking Red Eyes Black Dragon because it's my favorite monster in the entire game, and I got this out once. It was against Dark Worlds, and I attacked for game with this guy, and it was amazing. So yeah, those are that's my Chaos Dragon engine. You got your search targets, Red Mid, Dark Armed, Emperor Dragon, and Red Eyes Black Dragon. Obviously, I searched out this guy a lot. I got him out more than anyone else, and I won a couple games because of his burn effect, or I just completely nuked the field because I could. Emperor Dragon can never come back as long as Eclipse Wyvern is here, because being able to search that guy out is too crazy. Then you got 1 copy of Sackluster Soldier and Chaos Sorcerer for the Chaos Monsters. Then for other guys, you got 2 Debris Dragon and a Divine Dragon Apocalypse. I figured since I was running Raikos, Card Troopers, and Reapers and such, the Debris Dragon would be able to get them back. And Divine Dragon can just recycle Red Med, Dark Armed, Chaos Emperor Dragon. And then for the Lightsworn engine, you got 3 Lila, 3 Raiko, 2 Wolves, 2 Jean, 2 Lumina, Garoth, Aaron, and Arcus. Pretty self-explanatory. It's a Lightsworn Chaos Dragon. The Wolves were actually not that bad. I did draw into one once, but most of the time they got milled off a Painful Choice. Then for the other milling, you got 2 Card Troopers. Then you got the Torgain engine, the Mystic Tomato engine, which I was hoping I could use to get to Spirit Reaper, Sangan, Witch of the Black Forest, etc. But more often than not, this guy just got stolen with Change of Hearts. 2 copies of Reaper for defense plus hand poking. 2 copies of Necro Gardener to block stuff. I was running 3s of these at first, but I had to take them out so I could fit in some more stuff. I probably should have just cut the 2 tomatoes and maxed out on Necro Gardener and Spirit Reaper. Then I've also got some 1900 beaters, 2 Breaker, 2 Doomcal, 2 Ryo. My reasoning behind them was Breaker could be used to pop back row, Doom Call could be used to negate effects, Riot could be just used to stun the opponent, and I could back it up with an Honest. And then I got a Plague Spreader because you mill so much. Hand Traps consist of 3 Max C, 3 Battle Fader, 3 Veiler, 2 Trag, 1 Gores, and then rounding out would be Witch of the Black Forest, Glow Up Bulb, and Magician of Faith. Witch of the Black Forest did see play it once, and that was against a Stallburn deck with Ground Collapse, Appropriate, you know, that kind of deck that just like annoys the hell out of you. Yeah, I synchroed with this, and I forget what it was. I think it was a Plague Spreader. Yeah, it was a Plague Spreader. I synchroed into an Iron Chain Dragon with this. So I got the Surge off, and I used it to put a Light Pulsar Dragon into my hand. I then summoned Light Pulsar Dragon. I overlay Iron Chain Dragon and Light Pulsar Dragon to Excabeetle, and then equip this so I can send Marshmallow to the graveyard, and I get Witch's Search off again. Oh, that was stupid. And Glow Up Bulb, I milled a wolf this, and I had a wolf on the field, so I went to Shishula, and Magician of Faith got me back a Pot of Greed, which was pretty nice. And that's it for, yeah, the monsters. As for the spells and traps, first for my multiples, 3 MST, 3 Recharge, 2 Lance. This really did nothing. I probably just cut this for more banned trap cards. Then you got your limited cards, Charge Your Light Brigade, the Unholy Trinity, Pot of Avarice, because, well, it's a 100 card deck, so it's not going to be that hard to fulfill the conditions of this, and you can use it to recycle your milled Sorks, your BLS, and such forth. And then for the banned cards, you got first the Holy Trinity, Brain Control, Card of Safe Return, which is, of course, dumb in this deck, Change of Heart, Cold Wave, Trunade, which I think could honestly come back if we got rid of Storm. Then Metamorphosis, because I had guys in here that I could sack off of this card to bring out all kinds of guys. I was thinking I could sack off, let's see, you had Glow Up Bulb, you had Dark Flare Dragon, like Pulsar Dragon, Blackluster Soldier, Dark Arm Dragon, Red Eyes Black Dragon. You could sack this guy off for a King Dragoon or some other level 7. So yeah, that's why I had that in here. Future Fusion. You know, in a 100 card deck, I opened with this 3 times. I don't know how that happened, but you know what? Opening Future Fusion in a Dragon deck, God, I miss that. I really do. My dumps each time were 3 Eclipse Wyverns and usually 2 Dark Flare Dragons. One time it was a Dark Flare Dragon and a Red Eyes Black Dragon, but it was 2 or 3 Eclipse Wyverns each time so that I could search out the JD, Red Med, and Chaos Emperor Dragon. Then, of course, the card that makes Future Fusion look tame. If you think Future Fusion was so bad last format, you haven't seen anything like Painful Choice. Being able to put 3 Eclipse Wyverns and 2 Wolves, and then your opponent's like, well, which one do you want me to keep? Because the rest are going to go to the graveyard. That's a guaranteed 2 searches and 2 special summons, or I get 3 searches and a special summon, and that wolf that people always put into my hand, because they always put the wolf in my hand, so much I would get my Eclipse Wyvern searches off, and then a wolf on the field. I would just pitch that wolf for Recharge or Lumina, and yeah, Painful Choice. Everyone who could ran this card, but when I played this, I won, because yeah, Painful Choice is just that good. Future Fusion, it is a bit of a win button in this deck. Painful Choice is a guaranteed victory. Then running out 1 Premature Burial, my first ever holo I pulled when I was a kid. I was rather excited about this one. Unfortunately, I kind of bent it in the corner, so it's kind of lost its value. But hey, I hung on to it all this time. Snatch Steal, Forceful Sentry, and then for the banned traps, Crush Card and Ring of Destruction. I OTK'd a 6 Samurai deck in one turn because I got out Queen Dragon Jin, Chaos Emperor Dragon. I attacked with both, and then I ringed the Emperor Dragon for total damage. Yeah, that was pretty hilarious. And then for the extra deck, you got to play with 30 cards in the extra deck, as I mentioned before, so I just threw in some fusions, some synchros, and exceeds. For the fusions, 1,000 Eyes Restrict. I've got Veiler, I've got Glow Up Bulb, Battle Fader. It's not that hard to bring this guy out, and he has a pretty good effect. King Dragoon, you could sack off a Red Eyes or a Dark Arm Dragon if you really need to get this guy out. Special summon a Red Eyes or a Pulsar from the hand. And then they can't be targeted by Prison, Lance, etc., etc. Never got him out. Never got this out. This was for when I dropped the BLS and removed the monster, then sack it off for this. You know, the kind of thing that kind of ruined the end of GOAT format. Exterio, because Tragodia and Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon can be popped off with Metamorphosis into this thing, which is why I'm not running Dark Bolter the Terrible or Ryu Senshi. I could have, but I just figured, why run those two when I can run this guy instead and cover both my bases? Then you got, of course, Five-Headed Dragon, who did come out at least once, and yeah, I kind of won that turn. Then for the Synchros, Armory Arm, Catastor, Chain Dragon, because Debris Dragon plus Raikou equals this. Goyo Guardian, this card can never come back. I'm sorry, Synchro players, but a level 6 with 2800 attack that steals monsters is just too OP. Of all the Synchros banned that I played today, Goyo Guardian was by far the worst. He was the most stupid. You stole Graphas, you stole your opponent's combo monsters. Goyo Guardian, he has just way too much power for something that's so easy to make. Never. This can never be unbanned. Trishula, maybe. Goyo Guardian, never. And this guy, yeah, because Atlanteans are around, no, you can't have this either. Pitch a Dragoons, bounce a monster, get a Dragoon Surge. They banned this for a reason, and it was a good choice on their part. Because the Lauren is stupid, but this would have been even worse. And yeah, I won a game with him. This guy, got him out once. Used him to help put a game out of reach. Black Rose, because, yeah, Stardust. Kind of wanted to put a Scrap Dragon here, and I didn't end up wanting to use one, so I probably should have cut a card for Scrap Dragon. Trishula, made him a couple times, won a game because of him. I mean, it feels really good to knock a Graph out of the grave with this, I'm not going to lie. But then, you guys know I don't really care for that deck. And that's it for the Synchros. The rest are all Xyz monsters. Yes, Xyz. So I got my rank 3s, Zambane's, Leviair, Tempo, Acid Golem, Giga Brilliant, number 17. I just figured I'd run like the ones that would be really useful. 17 in case I had a red med in hand, this to boost my monsters. Leviair is obvious, you remove so much. And no, I don't have a Dimension Fusion, otherwise I would have played it. Queen Dragon Jin, got her out a couple times. I would just summon Eclipse Wyvern, and then Snatch Seal, change of heart, brain control level 4, and just go into this, and then get a Pulsar or whatever out of the grave. Pretty good. My Stroke, Black Ship, Utopia. Then for my rank 5s, I got Tira, Zadris, and no, I don't have a Zemiling here. What the hell was that? Yeah, I got these guys, Excavabeetle, Bouncer, and then Guy Charger, and then Super Situational, Super Dreadnought Cannon. You may think it's not very likely you got this out, but in a fun game I had, let's see, I dropped a Trag, I drew a Trag, and my opponent had a Trag. I discarded my Trag to take his Trag, and then I overlaid into this guy after swinging with both Trags for 6,000, and then detaching for game. That kind of stuff just happens in this kind of environment. But, yeah, that is the entire deck. It's crazy, it's stupid, it's fun. I don't know if I would play this again though at the next challenge if it's unlimited, if it's traditional format. I might try and do the hero deck again. That was pretty fun, but yeah, I just figured I'd try something that was the polar opposite of my last deck, which was anti-meta, but I learned a couple things. One, when it comes to milling, I just have awful, awful, awful luck. So, yeah. I'm probably going to not play mill decks as much, or at least run even less spells than before, because if I milled Future Fusion more times than I drew it, and that made me rather disappointed. Anyway, thank you guys for this. Thank you guys for watching this. Thank you guys for watching the other videos involving the Pegasus challenge. The next one is a same rarity format. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to that one, where it's basically you have to run your entire main deck has to be all one type of rarity, so all common or all rare or all ultra or all secret and such forth and such forth. I know I do not have a deck that I could use for that, but if I can, I'd record some games. Who knows? We'll have to see. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, take care.